The church was glowing with soft light, golden beams shining through tall stained-glass windows. Every seat was filled with guests dressed in their finest, all eyes turning as the doors opened and Hannah, the bride, stepped forward. Her gown was simple yet elegant, and her father walked proudly beside her, holding her hand as though she were still his little girl. As the music swelled, whispers of admiration rippled through the crowd. Hannah didn't come from wealth or privilege. She was the daughter of a small-town teacher, raised with love but little luxury. Yet, she carried herself with grace and a kindness that seemed to touch everyone around her. At the altar, Lucas, the groom, stood waiting in his perfectly tailored suit. His family filled the front rows, polished, wealthy, and proud. They had always made it clear they didn't see Hannah as enough for their son. Lucas had grown up with privilege, and though he had fallen in love with Hannah's heart, the pressure of his family's expectations had weighed heavily on him. As Hannah reached the altar, Lucas whispered, "You look beautiful." Her heart fluttered. This was the moment she had dreamed of her whole life. The ceremony began smoothly. Vows were next. Lucas would speak first. Hannah waited, smiling lovingly, ready to hear his promises of forever. But when Lucas began, his voice carried a heaviness no one expected. "Hannah," he said, clearing his throat, "I've always been taught that honesty is the most important thing in a marriage. So today, in front of everyone, I want to be honest with you." The crowd leaned in. Hannah's smile trembled slightly, but she kept listening. "When I first met you, I was drawn to your kindness, your gentleness. But, there were moments I doubted us. My family told me you weren't good enough for me. You don't come from the same background, and I admit there were times I thought maybe they were right. Maybe by marrying you, I was settling." Gasps swept through the room. Hannah's face went pale, her heart clenching in her chest. Her eyes burned with tears she tried to hold back. Lucas continued, his words slicing through the silence. "But despite those doubts, here I am. Because I believe love is about sacrifice. And so, even if you can't give me what my family expects, I choose to marry you anyway." Hannah's tears spilled over. She felt the world spin around her. This was supposed to be her happiest day, yet here she was, humiliated in front of everyone she loved. The officiant hesitated, shifting nervously. Guests whispered among themselves, many shaking their heads in disbelief. Hannah's father clenched his fists, ready to walk his daughter out of the hall if she wished. But Hannah stood still. She inhaled deeply, wiping her tears, and when it was her turn, she lifted her head high. Her voice trembled at first, but soon steadied with quiet strength. "Lucas," she said softly, "thank you for your honesty. I can't pretend your words didn't hurt me. They broke me. But I made a promise to myself long before today, that no matter what life brings, I will choose kindness." The crowd fell utterly silent. Hannah's tears glistened like pearls as she continued. "When I met you, I didn't see your wealth. I didn't care about your family's status. I saw you. The man who held my hand when I was afraid, who encouraged me when I doubted myself, who made me laugh when life felt heavy. I saw your heart, and that was enough." Lucas's confident expression faltered. "But today, you admitted your doubts. And that's okay. Because real love isn't about pretending doubts don't exist, it's about facing them together. You think choosing me is a sacrifice. But I don't see myself as someone you settle for. I see myself as someone who will love you with such devotion that you'll never regret this choice. I will support you when you stumble, celebrate you when you succeed, and remind you every day that love is the greatest treasure." Her words, though spoken with tears, carried so much grace that the atmosphere shifted instantly. Even Lucas's parents lowered their heads in shame. "I may not bring riches," Hannah said, her voice now strong, "but I will bring what money can't buy, loyalty, compassion, and forgiveness. And yes, Lucas, I forgive you today, because kindness will always be stronger than pride." The guests were moved to tears. Hannah had transformed what could have been a moment of humiliation into an unforgettable lesson in grace. Lucas stood frozen, shame washing over him. For the first time, he truly saw the depth of Hannah's heart, and how unworthy his words had been. The officiant, after a pause, asked softly, "Do you, Lucas, take Hannah to be your lawfully wedded wife?" Lucas's voice shook. He looked at Hannah's tear-streaked but radiant face and whispered, "I do." This time, there was no pride, no pretense, only sincerity. "And do you, Hannah, take Lucas to be your lawfully wedded husband?" Hannah smiled gently, tears still glistening. "I do." The ceremony continued, and when they were declared husband and wife, the hall erupted with applause, not because of the tradition, but because of Hannah's extraordinary kindness. Afterward, guests lined up to embrace Hannah, telling her how her words had touched them. Many admitted they were reminded of their own marriages, their own need for forgiveness. Even Lucas's mother, who had never accepted Hannah, approached her with tear-filled eyes. "I misjudged you," she said, voice trembling. "I thought you weren't enough for my son. But today, you showed us all what true strength looks like. Please forgive me." Hannah, ever gentle, took her hand. "We all learn in our own time," she replied softly. Later, Lucas pulled Hannah aside, his eyes wet with guilt. "Hannah, I'm so sorry. I don't deserve you." "My words." Hannah pressed her finger to his lips. "Lucas, love isn't about deserving. It's about choosing. And I choose you. But from today forward, I hope you'll see me not as a sacrifice, but as your greatest blessing." Lucas broke down, hugging her tightly. For the first time, he understood what true love meant. Kindness was not weakness, it was the strongest force in the world. In the years that followed, Hannah's kindness didn't just transform Lucas, it transformed his entire family. Over time, they came to admire her, respect her, and cherish her. Their home became a place of warmth and compassion, where friends, family, and even strangers found comfort. Every anniversary, Lucas would look at Hannah and remember that moment at the altar. The moment she chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, love instead of anger, kindness instead of pride. It was the moment that saved their marriage before it even began. And that is the story of Hannah and Lucas, a story that proves kindness is the greatest vow of all. In a world where pride often overshadows love, Hannah's grace turned heartbreak into hope. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories of love, forgiveness, and kindness. Because sometimes, the gentlest act of grace can change everything.